Hi, I'm Rodney. This is Primal Effect. We're going to be doing stuff from all over the world because I've worked in so many different concepts. Some will be classic French, Italian type stuff. Some of them will take classic dishes and put our own twist on. So I've thought long and hard about what's going to be the first dish. Well, fun idea. In America, we tend to Americanize everything. Everything's bigger and too much. And so we're going to do meatballs today. And we're going to kind of go with the sort of authentic mom Italian meatball recipe from Italy. And honestly, if you were to go to Italy and order meatballs, that's what you get. The meatball's the star, the meatball's the entree. It doesn't come with pasta. That's sort of a thing that happened in America. You know, doing the paleo primal thing, we're not consuming processed foods and flour and grains and what have you, so we're going to eliminate the pasta and eliminate some other things in the recipe, but here's how we're going to roll. So we've got the beef. I think this is about whatever, a pound or so. Got the pork. We're going to put in, kind of already start to break it all up. Get a shot of that meat in there. We're going to throw in the veal. The veal, it's lean and kind of mellow and neutral. You know, it's like if you have a nice coffee blend there. So we've got that. So from there, first thing we're going to do, Himalayan pink sea salt. We're going to throw a few pinches of salt in there. Some fresh pepper. Some fresh ground pepper. We're going to throw in just a little bit of olive oil, not much. So the first thing we're going to whack out here is some garlic. Alright, whenever you chop, you keep your fingers curled in. We're going to cut those little brown edges off. So the easiest way for me, and the old just fast restaurant way, is you take your garlic under your knife, give it a nice little smash. We're going to chop this garlic now that it's smashed and it's kind of sitting in place, and basically I'm just going to put my fingertips on the point. You've got a bevel on the knife. Put my fingertips on the point and just start out rocking back and forth and giving this garlic, like I said, just kind of a rough cut in the beginning. Then we'll sort of just smooth it out, take the back edge of the knife, kind of flatten it some more and smash it all out. And then get into it a little quicker and finer. Now we've got the garlic in. Italian flat leaf parsley comes next. Beautiful. I prefer the Italian flat leaf over curly parsley. So once again, you know, we're looking at our meat here. Okay, that's a big pile of meat. We've got garlic being as strong as it is. I had, you know, 3 probably pretty good sized cloves and a few small cloves, so about 6 cloves of garlic. And I'm just looking at that, and I'm probably going to want a nice palm full of chopped parsley. So this is a medium fine chop, okay, as you can see, and we're just going to put all that in. Okay, so once again, you can see sort of things developing here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and mix this in a little bit. So at this point, we've just got the 3 types of protein, the garlic, the salt, pepper, and the parsley. What we're going to do is put a good substantial amount of egg. In that big pile of meat, we're going with 4 eggs. And you don't got to get freaky. If there's a little bit of white in there, it's no big deal. Now, another thing that Italian mamas, they do when they're making meatballs is they take bread, stale bread's perfect, cut the crust off, make nice cubes, put it in a bowl with some milk, let that bread soak up the milk, and then kind of squeeze it out and mash the milky bread into the meat. And just helps with the egg to bind it and gives it a lot of moisture. So on our refined flour avoidance program here, we are going to simulate that effect and not use bread, but we're going to take some almond flour and it'll serve the same purpose. And this is not, as you can see, it's not a super fine. It's almost like a grated Parmesan cheese kind of a texture. So we're going to put a good palmful of that stuff in. For milk, we're going to use coconut milk. It's a beautiful thing. Medium chain triglycerides, beautiful healthy fats. So we're going to stir up this can of leche de coco. And we're going to go a little bit easy on this here. Don't want it too wet. So now we've got the coconut milk and the flour, kind of the last phase there. We'll get this all mixed in here. And I can tell already a little bit more of the almond flour is going to be good. Just perfect. See, because I'm using my senses, I can feel that. I don't want it so wet that I'm not going to be able to form a ball. I want it all be able to adhere enough together and bind a little bit. Good Lord, I can't believe this. Forgot one little thing here. Dried oregano. Got some flat leaf parsley. See, it's never too late to catch yourself, because this is a dry ingredient. It's no big deal. We're just going to kind of rub it together and add that in. And real quickly, see, nothing's perfect. You know, you figure you miss something, you just freaking add it in. It's no big deal. Oh man, I can smell that oregano. It's beautiful stuff. These are pretty thin asparagus spears, which are what I prefer. And we don't need all that fat, bitter stuff on the end there, so we're just going to whack off the bottom of the stems. And we're going to take, I would say, you know, 3 or 4 at a time. Lay out your prosciutto and just roll it up in the prosciutto. I'm going to start forming some meatballs, and once again, this is the deal where the meatball is the star. So we're going to make good size meatballs. These are probably, you know, I would say 4 or 5 ounces. There you've got 4 pretty equally sized meatballs that are, as I said, probably at least 4 ounces. Today we're going to use this beautiful coconut oil to sear these meatballs in. Saute means cooking on a high temperature in a pan with, you know, an oil, but this is searing. And so, like I said, we want to do this fairly quickly. Get it nice and brown. Turn it over. While those guys are going, we're going to take some nice Roma tomatoes. I'm looking at the size of those meatballs, and I'm going, okay, those are pretty big, so we're going to use 2, 4, 6, 8 tomatoes here. And we're basically going to keep these pretty rough and chunky. We're going to cut the end off, stand those up, and quarter those. Pulling the basil off of the fat stems, leaving it the whole leaf. And like I said, we kind of want the rustic look on this. So we're not going to use a knife. What we're going to do is throw in this rough torn basil. Toss a little, just a beautiful wine bottle emptied out with a bar pour spout, decorative. That's what I do at home for vinegars and oils and things like that. Give it a light toss here. Touch more olive oil. And we're going to go with just some balsamic vinegar. Not a lot. Put a thumb over there and control the flow out. Okay, we're getting a little smokiness here on the meatballs, so that's the bottom of the meatball, nice and brown. So we're going to go ahead and perfect. That's just perfect. Nice brown caramelization, not too much. And cook the other side. Let those things go a little bit. Move the fat around some, all that flavor. And the oven's been preheated to 400 for quite a while now. My glass baking pan, 2-inch. I'll bring the skillet over here for just a minute. I'm going to place the big balls in the glass baking dish. Okay. I'm going to put just a little bit of the love in here because it's got all the flavor. It's a beautiful thing. It's not going to hurt. Alright, so a little of the renderings is what it's called. Juices from the fat. It's going to go there. Then I'm going to take this beautiful fresh tomato, salt, olive oil, basil, a little balsamic vinegar, and we are going to just put that all over. That's what that looks like for your oven baked balls. We're going to pop that into the 400-degree oven, not covered up or nothing. Let that sit. Okay, so our meatballs are just getting pretty close. Now we're going to go ahead and do the asparagus. And what we're going to do with the asparagus, there's enough. And we don't want everything to stick, so we're just going to give a light drizzle of olive oil. And we're just going to lay some. This is one of my favorite pans. I mean, obviously, if you've got a barbecue and it's that time of year and stuff like that, you know, for the purpose right now of teaching, we're staying indoors. But this is a Teflon coated type pan that's got grill. It's raised, so you get kind of grill marks on your stuff. And Lord knows I like grill marks on my stuff. As you can see there, all the moisture from the tomatoes, the skin's starting to shrivel. So this is pretty close. You know, with ground beef and pork and stuff like that, get yourself a little thermometer at home. And, you know, ground beef like that, 150, 55 degrees is kind of where you want to be. Alright, so there we go. Let's plate it. Because we look hungry, I'm going to take 2 balls. Okay, so there we have the oven baked paleo style meatballs with the fresh tomato and basil lightly stewed in the renderings and balsamic vinegar and olive oil, and a nice prosciutto asparagus bundle. Voila, healthy, tasty, pretty simple stuff. Thank you. See you next time.